It is 3 a.m. in the morning. Naomi is awake. Not the soft, drifting kind of awake, the other kind, the kind where her heart is moving faster than the room around her, the kind where her chest feels too small for her lungs, the kind where her mind is already at the desk, already opening tomorrow's emails, already 3 meetings in. She has not had a full night's sleep since February. You heard me. Beside her, her husband is sleeping. He sleeps the way she used to sleep before something changed, something she cannot quite name. She lies very still because she does not want to wake him up. He has told her more than once that she is the strongest person he knows. But she does not feel strong. She feels like a glass holding too much water and the water is rising, and she does not know who would be able to catch it if it tipped. Now, today, I want to tell you about Naomi because Naomi is not unwell. Naomi is high functioning, and that today is what we are going to talk about, what it means to be the woman everyone calls strong, and what that strength is actually costing you. Hello there. I'm Remi and I'm a psychotherapy student, and I help you understand why you do what you do. So let's begin. Naomi is 38. She is a senior associate at her firm, and she has a husband she loves, and this man adores her. She has a 6-year-old daughter who, frankly, runs the house. She has a calendar so full that she has to schedule the gym at 6 in the morning because if she doesn't, there is no other slot. And by external measure, Naomi is winning on every side. Her appraisal at work last month used the word exceptional. Her mother in Lagos calls her and tells her sisters that this one, she has done well for herself. Her best friend texts her honestly and asks, how do you do it all? And Naomi sends back a laughing emoji and a glass of wine. Now, this is the costume. This is what the world sees. Now, let me tell you what the world does not see. Naomi has not had a full night's sleep since February. That's number one. She wakes up at 3, sometimes 2. Once last month at 1:15. She lies in the dark with her heart racing and she runs her diary forward, meeting by meeting, until the alarm goes off. She has stopped enjoying food. She eats it, but she does not enjoy it. She makes a small mistake at work, a typo in an email, and she replays it for the next 11 days. Her daughter asks her, a question, and Naomi answers, and her daughter says, Mommy, you're not listening to me. And Naomi feels the cold drop of shame land in her stomach. And, she promises her daughter that she will be more present this evening. Unfortunately, by evening, she's back inside our own head, the same pattern. Now, if you ask Naomi how she is, she will say, I'm great, honestly, I'm just busy. And she's not lying. She's also not telling the truth. Now, let me take you back quickly into her childhood. Naomi is 6 years old. Her parents are first generation, hardworking, proud. The fridge has her school report taped to the front of it. Her mother says, when she brings in an A, her mother will say to her, this is what you are here to do. I'm so proud of you. When she brings home a B, her mother says nothing, nothing at all. The silence is louder than the praise. Naomi is 9. She's the eldest of three. Her parents work shifts. She makes her brother's breakfast before school and she signs her own permission slips because her parents are tired and she does not want to be a bother. Naomi is now 15. She has a panic attack in the stationery cupboard at school and she does not tell anyone. Why? Because what would she even tell them? Nothing has happened, right? Everything is fine. Naomi is now 22. She graduates with a first. Her father, who has not cried in front of her since she was a child, cries at the ceremony. Naomi's 28, promoted, 33, married, 35, a daughter, 38, awake at 3. Somewhere along the way, Naomi learned that the only acceptable version of herself was the version that had it all together. And her body, which is much older and much wiser than her CV, has been keeping the score. Now, I want us to be very careful here, right? Because the phrase you came to this video for, high functioning anxiety, is a phrase I want to talk about very honestly, right? High functioning anxiety is not a clinical diagnosis. It is not in the diagnostic manual. You will not find it in the DSM. It is a description, a useful one, a description of a particular shape that anxiety often takes in capable, accomplished, often very competent women. Now, what you will find in the diagnostic manual is something called generalized anxiety disorder, excessive worry, more days than not, for at least 6 months, accompanied by physical symptoms like restlessness, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, muscle tension, and sleep that does not work. Now, I am not telling you Naomi has generalized anxiety disorder. I am not telling you that you do. This is a conversation for a clinician, right? What I am telling you is this: the descriptor high functioning anxiety exists because the diagnostic manual was, for a long time, written for people whose anxiety stopped them from functioning. And the women I am talking about today did not stop functioning. They functioned harder. They worked the late shift. They got the promotion. They held the dinner party. They answered the email at midnight. They smiled in the school photograph. And underneath, they were running on a system that was firing for a danger that had ended 30 years ago. Now, here's the research piece, okay? A peer reviewed study by McLean and colleagues published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research in 2011 looked at gender differences in anxiety disorders. The finding, which has been replicated many times since, is this: women experience markedly high rates of anxiety disorders than men. For generalized anxiety disorders specifically, the ratio is roughly 2 to 1. The Anxiety and Depression Association of America estimates that GAD affects close to 7 million adults in the United States. Fewer than half of them are actually receiving treatment. Now, there are reasons for this gap that the research can name. And it is simple. Women carry more invisible domestic labor. Women face the cultural pressure to appear competent and warm at the same time, which is a contradiction the nervous system feels long before the mind articulates it. Women are praised for caretaking, which means caretaking becomes a hiding place. And women who present high functioning are frankly the last in the queue for help because they look fine. Now, there is also a deeper layer. Of course, there is. In the model I am training in, we talk about something called a script. A script is a set of unspoken rules a child writes about how to be safe and loved in her family. She does not know that she's writing it, but she lives by it for the rest of her life until something interrupts the writing. Naomi's script reads: be the one they do not have to worry about. She has been honoring that script since she was 6. The reward for honoring it has been her entire identity. The cost of honoring it is the 3 in the morning stare that she gets daily. The body is not anxious because Naomi is failing. The body is anxious because Naomi has been succeeding by a definition of success that did not include her. Now, I am not going to tell you whether you have anxiety. I am a psychotherapy student, right? That is not my job. What I am going to ask you is this: when was the last time you sat in a room with no agenda? Not scrolling, not catching up on emails, not preparing for the next thing, just sitting. If the answer is uncomfortable, that is information. When was the last time someone asked how you really are and you told them? When you make a small mistake, how long does it stay with you? If your daughter or sister, your son or your friend was describing your life to a stranger, would they say it sounded sustainable? Now, these are not diagnostic questions, these are reflective ones, and the answers belong to you. Now, here is what I want you to know. The word strong, in the way it is used about women like Naomi, often means something the woman herself has not consented to. It means low maintenance. It means handles things. It means I will not ask anything of me, right? So the strongest women in our lives are often the ones nobody is checking on. Because if she ever stopped, what would the rest of us do? Now, I want to say something to anyone watching this who recognize herself today. You do not have to wait for a breakdown to deserve rest. You do not have to earn your tiredness with a diagnosis. You do not have to keep being strong if strong is making you ill. Naomi is in therapy now and she's doing the work. Her sleep is starting to come back slowly. Not because she has solved it, no, but because she has begun to let her body very gently learn that it is allowed to put the glass down. Her husband last week asked her how she was. He asked properly. And Naomi, for the first time in possibly a decade, said, I am tired. I have been tired for a long time. I'm smiling because that is progress. That sentence took her 38 years and it was the start. Now, if anything in today's video resonated with you, please speak to a qualified therapist, your GP, or another mental health professional. Every reference that I have cited today will be in the description box below this video. Now, this is the second episode of a four-part series called The Patterns You Can't See. Next week, Thursday, we are going to talk about the woman who keeps falling for the same kind of partner. Different man, same ending. We are going to look at why. Once again, I'm Remi Seun-Aladejana, and thank you so much for being here. Bye bye.